Ruling the Indian beauty market for the last 27 years, L'Oreal is one of the few players that have introduced many first to market innovations. Having a historic 2022 already, its global CEO is excited for the brand achieving its best growth since 1988. Speaking on the India chapter of L'Oreal, I have with me Gaurav Anand, Chief Digital and Marketing Officer, highlighting how the brand still remains relevant and reliable in the minds of the consumers. We welcome you, Gaurav.
Thanks a lot, Soumya. Very, very excited to be here.
Thank you. So, Gaurav, you've been a marketing veteran, if I may say so. You hold significant experience across industries, whether it is F&B, technology, FMCG. How are you really leveraging this experience at L'Oreal, given that it is already an established player in the market?
At L'Oreal, what I'm trying to do is bring my understanding of digital and marketing and how it impacts every line in business P&L. So I've had the unique advantage of creating brands, running brands, looking at it from the side of brands, but also looking at the side from a publisher when I was at Facebook. And I also had the advantage of looking at the entire P&L where brand participates in the acceleration of the top line. So what I'm trying to do is bringing all that learning into making sure digital can be used as a disruptor in our top line growth to create a more profitable model across all lines of P&L, be it our marketing, be it our supply chain, be it our use of data. And that's the broad idea I'm trying to bring in on showing how digital could be a big disruptor in top line growth at a profitable rate.
Excellent. So, Gaurav, consumer insights, data, strategy, and media remain key to your role. How have you really panned them out, each of these with respect to L'Oreal?
So at L'Oreal, there are two things we would like to be famous for. One is creating the best consumer experiences in the world of beauty that connect to commerce. And the reason why we are focusing on that is we are seeing the entire marketing pyramid is kind of collapsing. When you look at a shoppable ad today, it's very difficult to say whether it is an awareness ad or a trial ad. And what we are seeing is consumers are more and more looking for rewarding consumer experiences that connect to commerce rather than just ads. And we would like to pride ourselves to be able to create the best possible consumer experiences that connect to commerce in the world of beauty. The second thing we want to be really famous for is our ability to acquire consumers in beauty at possibly the lowest CAC. And that requires us to put in a part of a startup for MFFCG. That requires us to think about how do we use consumer data in our media, in a selection of audiences, so that we have a right to win versus both the bigger FMCG companies and also the upcoming indie beauty brands. And the fuel for both of these is a very, very strong insight team. Because without the right set of consumer insights, we can't be creating the right consumer experiences to commerce. And without the right set of analytics, we can't hold our media accountable for every dollar we spend. So that in brief is what we are trying to do at L'Oreal on creating the best consumer experiences to commerce and evangelizing our media in such a way that we can acquire the consumers at the lowest possible CAC.
Excellent. So Gaurav, it is very evident that digital has been the belle of the ball, especially in the past 2 years. And the pandemic in that sense has been a catalyst for digital adoption across communities, across genders, demographies, geographies. Could you give me a sense of how the pandemic and this whole digital adoption has reflected on L'Oreal with respect to, the consumer expectations or business realities? Could you please throw light on that?
One thing the pandemic has done is accelerated our digital adoption. And I would not say just us, the entire country's digital adoption. So if we look into currently, we have nearly 675 million consumers on internet, out of which around 140 million consumers are actually product translators, so people who are buying products.
Right.
And this category has grown more than 30% in the COVID-19 era. More and more people are now starting to buy. We always had enough people online, WhatsApp penetration in India. But this has accelerated a lot of people who are starting to buy online. And this, in a way, has given us a 12-month acceleration in e-retail penetration. And now the job is very clear in the coming year. How do we make sure that those people stay? The stickiness of these people who have come onto online commerce. How do we make sure we give them the kind of experience which Indians are used to when they shop offline? And how we can use technology to create those kind of experiences for people to be sticking around and doing their shopping online. So that has been one big element that we have seen in the COVID times, which has positively reflected in our e-commerce growth. Our percentage of revenue coming from online has really increased steadily around this period. And we are now creating an organization which thinks across offline plus online in terms of our consumers. So it's the same set of consumers who is buying online and offline. So we are also thinking about how do we organize our teams to be addressing a more O plus O, online plus offline structure in the coming times.
Sure. So taking cue from this answer, what kind of an investment are you making on your e-commerce platforms or channels, and what kind of experiences are you offering to your consumers in that sense?
I think we have a very robust understanding on how to be creating demand on existing e-commerce platforms with the use of our partners, our partnerships, and the use of media on those platforms. We are bringing more analytics to it. We are sharpening our wits so that every dollar is more accountable when it is being spent on e-commerce. We are creating the best knowledge in terms of analytics to make sure that we have an advantage in the way we are buying media on platform. But we are also seeing that after the initial influx of intent-based traffic moving from offline to online, there is also a need to create demand on the online commerce platforms. Especially when I contrast it with a Tmall in Southeast Asia, the participation of brands to create demand, incremental demand on these online platforms is quite limited. And that's where we are working with our partners on saying, what are the value-added services we can bring, which will create incremental demand and will not just be tapping into the shift of the intent-based demand.
Sure.
So some of the areas we are exploring with our partners is how could we create an experiential shopping experience when somebody's online. When I shop online, I sometimes miss the whole glitz and the warmth of shopping offline. The chit chat with our the sellers, our beauty consultants, the picking up of the stuff, exploring it. There is a certain element to how Indians love to shop. And the challenge we are trying to work with our partners on, how can we bring elements of that with the help of technology online. What we have, just to state a few things that we have started to work on, is we started working on a virtual try-on. Like when you are in store, you try on different shades of lipsticks to see what works best for you, or you try different shades of foundation to see what suits your skin. We have created a technology widget which helps a consumer replicate some of these experiences online. And now we are working with our partners on how do we make sure that we have broader adoption of this, and this is a value-added service that the consumers can use. There are quite a few more things that we are thinking about in this space, but that's the idea on how do we create more value-added. So how do we create more value-added services to create incremental demand on the online commerce space?
Sure. So my next question actually makes a lot of sense here. You very recently acquired ModiFace, right? How will it really help you create an enhanced beauty experience for consumers and makeup enthusiasts?
At L'Oreal, we are very fast. So we acquired it in 2018, and we have already rolled out some of our ModiFace virtual try-ons. If you go to one of our brand sites, you will be able to interact with them. We have something for skin. We have something for makeup. We have also implemented this with some of our partners on e-commerce. And now we are trying to work with our partners on how do we make it very integral part of the consumer journey. So more and more consumers can use it as a tool for engagement, but as also a tool to choose and make a purchase. And that's where we are working with our partners to also show and understand how can we map out the end-to-end consumer journey. Somebody who's coming and trying a virtual try-on or Modiface virtual try-ons. What are the elements they like? What drives their conversion? And how we can elaborate this and make it into a much more scaled version. The tool consumers have taken a liking to it. The initial numbers we are getting on engagement and the time spent is very good. So we are very, very confident that this could become a very, very engaging tool for consumers to also convert to commerce. So very, very excited about the prospects of that.
Excellent, and all my good wishes for that. My last question for you is, what will be your next focus areas to take L'Oreal India notch higher in the beauty tech space?
I think this is an area where we are trying to build capability with our partners on creating more consumer experiences to commerce. Okay. We do think one of our core strengths has always been consultative selling. So we have very knowledgeable BAs who understand your skin and give you the right product for your skin. It's a customized and very consultative. The challenge that we are taking on is obviously with our BAs, we are restricted with the number of footfalls and on one day how many people they can talk to. Online could be a way to democratize this. We could be reaching out to more people and helping them get very customized solutions to their beauty needs.
Correct.
And we are thinking about how do we investigate into this so that we are able to create the careers for some of our beauty advisors as well. How do we enable them to use the right digital tools to reach to more consumers and do what they are very good at, consultative selling at a scaled way to benefit our consumers and convert more people into beauty. That is one area that we are very, very keen on. But we are also exploring all other forms of consumer experiences, whether it is selected choices when it comes to doing our brand.coms, whether it comes to sampling choices, whether it comes to social commerce, where we already have created a significant infrastructure, which we want to be leveraging more broadly across in beauty.
Sure. Thank you, Gaurav. I want to extend all my good wishes to you. You are already doing a very good job at L'Oreal. Thank you for taking out time, and I do have a lot of takeaways from this interview. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Soumya. Good luck.